We are here with head women's basketball coach Jamie Cluesman coming off of a big win, 84 to 58 on Wednesday against Tusculum. You guys are getting ready to face Limestone for the second time this season. That's coming up tomorrow as we speak here on a Friday. We'll start with the win on Wednesday. Just wire to wire, handed win. You guys dominated that game. The offense was big. You mentioned the defense post game. You guys did a lot of things well on the defensive side of the ball. Caitlin Ross, 22 points. She went 5 of 10 from downtown. That ties a career high with 5 made threes in a game for her. We're going to honor her Saturday along with Leah Kestner for senior day. We're getting to the culmination point of Ross's career. I'm wondering for you as a head coach, and you've spoken so highly about her and the relationship you have with her is so special. Where are your emotions heading into the final few games left that you're going to have Caitlin Ross as your starting point guard?
A little bit all over the place. Her and Leah both. Those are two players that, as coaches, you would keep in your program until you're done coaching. Both of them are incredible human beings off the court, and then very good basketball players as well. So, what they've meant to me, and this program, I don't think I have enough time in the day to sit here and tell you about all of that. But, it's going to be an emotional day, but the good thing is it's not like our last game. It's just our last home Saturday game. So we still got some games with them. So we're literally going to cherish every moment that we have with them, whether it's in practice, at a pregame meal, or anything like that, because those two have, helped build the foundation that we've started here since I have taken over as a head coach. So, I can't thank them enough, but I'm just excited to have some more games with them. And like I said, I will not take a single opportunity for granted from here on out with them. And, we've kind of talked about it in some of the post game interviews as well. So emotions are high. But, when you have two players who have had the impact on you personally and in your coaching career, you're going to have those emotions. So just try to get through it. But our mindset is to come out and win the game.
Those are your two anchors, Caitlin at the top, Leah down at the forward spot. The leadership that they've shown both on the court and off the court has been huge. I think Wednesday was kind of a cool example of maybe showing who could be the next anchors at each position. Caitlin Berger, an upperclassman, but she's scheduled to come back next year. She went 8 for 8 from the floor. She had a fantastic game. First time or second time in her career, she's gone perfect, but the other time was just 2 for 2 from the floor. And then Sarah Burton, she had 16 points. She did a little bit of everything, rebounding, defending, passing. She played a fantastic game. Seems like those two are kind of the natural, maybe fill-ins of those spots of Ross and Kestner.
Yeah, definitely. Berger 8 for 8 from the field. Just had really good looks. Her teammates found her in transition, but also, in those post ISOs when she had mismatches, and she took full advantage of those. And in my opinion, she should have been 9 for 9. Going back and watching the film, they called a travel on her. That was textbook spin move, but it
Yeah.
is what it is. But she had an incredible game. And then Sarah Burton, she makes a difference on both sides of the ball, game in and game out. I thought she had a complete game. She's an exciting player to watch because if she hits a couple shots, you better get your popcorn ready because she's going to take it to the next level. She's just an incredible scorer, has that score mentality. But what people don't realize is most games I put her on the other team's best guard. So her defensive assignments are sometimes a little bit tougher than others, but she takes that with pride and she does a great job, but she's also a very, very good rebounder for us as a guard. So, the sky's the limit for her and I'm excited for her future, but just want her to continue playing how she's playing and finish out the season because, going through an injury and having to sit out an entire year, that can be very hard on someone mentally. And just the way that she's responded and bounced back is just an attribute or, just I can't say enough about her work ethic, the amount of time that she's spent in the gym to knock that rust off and to come in and have the impact that she has as a freshman. So just excited to see what she can continue to do and how she's going to continue to grow.
You mentioned Sarah missing last year with that injury, now being a redshirt freshman, her first year playing. You've got a couple of true freshmen who have had significant playing time this season, but a couple others that maybe haven't had as much or had to deal with some injuries. But with the big lead against Tusculum on Wednesday, you were able to put some of those players in. I think at one point we saw a 4 out of the 5 freshman lineup out there. Just wondering what your grade was for those freshmen, especially the ones that maybe we haven't got to see as much this year. What you thought about, seeing them out there getting some real time minutes and moving forward, having those people in your program.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they came in when their name was called and they gave us energy off the bench. Our offense became a little bit stagnant, but I did have a couple players who were technically out of position, but Tusculum was playing us a zone at the time and we were just going to run motion either way. So I think like they were trying to work through that a little bit. So some of the maybe poor offensive clinic that maybe was shown. That's my fault because I had some people out of position. But on the defensive end, I thought they came in and played very aggressive, a little bit overly aggressive. We picked up quite a few fouls and put them on the line early in the fourth quarter. But those are things that we can learn from. Moving forward, and we've talked about it. We just get a little too touchy with our hands on drives and things like that. But overall, pleased with their energy and their effort because our energy levels didn't drop off when they went into the game. So good minutes for everyone. It's exciting as a coach when you can play true freshmen, whether it's a couple minutes here and there or, 4 quarters at a time. So just excited. They all put the work in. So to see their work pay off and get rewarded for it is always a fun time.
So the game Wednesday was coming off the loss on the road Saturday against Mars Hill. Going into that game on Saturday, you guys were eighth. Mars Hill was ninth in the standing, flipped with the result. And obviously that cutoff line stands at eighth for postseason play in the South Atlantic Conference. So now we're at the point of the season, couple games left. People start scoreboard watching, checking the standings more often. And I think there were some folks, us included, at the table who were checking that Mars Hill against Carson Newman score pretty consistently throughout your game, given that the result kind of seemed like it was in hand, and that game was very close. Seemed like you guys were going to maybe flip right back and be eighth. Marshall was maybe going to lose that game. They win on a buzzer beater at home against Carson Newman, so they still maintain that eighth spot. I'm wondering, from a coach perspective, how much you're paying attention to the standings and who's winning and who's losing as we wind down on the season, and who you need to lose in front of you, and how much your players are, or whether you even let them.
Yeah, as a coach, that starts game one. You're always looking at it. And then when it gets closer to the end of the season, when you have a lot of people who are neck and neck in the standings, as coaches, we're always looking at remaining schedule. So Mars Hill is actually a game behind us. So they actually have one extra game to play. That may factor into it as well. I know a lot of our players pay attention to it because it's obviously the ultimate goal is to make postseason. So they're constantly checking it, but our scouting report, the cover of it, the very first thing you see is conference standings. So it is something that we talk about daily because it's our overall team goal. So if you want to reach goals, you have to talk about them. So, it's just a visual reminder. We have a standings board in our locker room. So it is something that we stress and talk about. So we know what's at stake. And the only thing that we can control is us. And then the other games are going to play out how they play out. But kudos to Emery. I think they were down 20 at one point. But she is a fighter, she's a competitor, and she's got her team playing extremely well right now. So, it's a big win for her personally and obviously for their program. So, that those things happen. And if we take care of ourselves, then hopefully things will play out.
So if there's a standings board in your locker room, I know there's a name that's at the bottom that you guys lost to earlier in the year, and you'll see them on Saturday. That's Limestone. That was a very tough place to play. That's a very athletic and fast team. They used that pressure, gave you guys fits earlier in the year. What do you remember about that game and maybe why you guys lost that first one? That's a very long time ago, back in December. You guys are obviously a very different team now. And what needs to change going into tomorrow to try to pick up a big win as we head to the end of the season?
Yeah, I just think overall our defense has improved since we played them. We act more as a unit right now. So I think we just have to continue to be present on the defensive end every possession. They're going to run a ton of ball screens with Cargo and Hill, their two best players. So we've got to limit their opportunities and try to prevent somebody from having a career night. But they're very well coached. Coach Fox has been very successful in his coaching career. So I know he's going to have them ready. But like you said, Limestone's a very hard place to play. It's a small gym. Um, and our gym's totally different. So I don't think that we've ever beat Limestone at Limestone, but on the other side of things, I don't think we've ever lost to Limestone here in the Convo. So hopefully we'll just come out prepared and just execute a little bit better defensively against them.
Well, you guys have given the Convo Center crowd a lot to enjoy this year. An 8-2 record at home. Hopefully, making that 9-2 on Senior Day coming up tomorrow. That's at 2 p.m. for those of you at home. You can watch it on Flow Sports or join us in person at the David J. Pryor Convocation Center. Senior Day will take place just before honoring Caitlin Ross and Leah Kessner. Coach, thank you so much. We're very excited to honor those two tomorrow and hopefully pick up another win. We'll see you then.
Sounds good. Thank you.